Hello everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I am really excited today because I am going to film, I am filming my first ever full face makeup tutorial. I'm really excited. I'm a little nervous, never done this before, so bear with me. Also, I just wanted to put a couple disclaimers out there. I know my background is not the most attractive. I'm actually in my kitchen because my husband is upstairs sleeping, and I don't really have like a vanity or desk or anything that like faces a window that would be good for me to like do makeup in front of. So I'm at my kitchen table, which is in front of a window. So I put some tulips back there to kind of try to make it look a little bit better. But anywho, I do already have my brows on. I do my brows first, so I just wanted to go ahead and pop those on. If you're interested in how I do my brows, my process for that, that was my first video I ever did, so I will link it in the description box below. But yeah, other than that, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is prep the skin. For primer spray, I have really been loving the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Coconut little spray here. I actually got this as a recommendation from Juicy Jasmine. A lot of the things that I use are recommended by her. She's probably my favorite YouTuber. She's the reason that I even started thinking about doing this as a hobby, so you definitely need to go watch her videos if you haven't. But anyways, they have this in a few different, I don't want to say flavors, but scents. There's a rose one, and then I think there's another kind too. I'm so sorry, my dogs keep trying to wrestle in the background. But anyways, it's a 3-in-1 primer, set, mist, and refresh type of thing. So we're just gonna take this, shake it up. I actually do my eyeshadow first, but you can do this at any point in your routine, really. I might honestly do it again before I start putting my makeup on, my like face makeup on, but you know, doesn't really matter. Alrighty, the next thing we're gonna do is we're going to prep the lids for shadow. So right now I've really been loving, I actually just got this. It is the e.l.f. Camo Hydrating Concealer. And I use concealer as eyeshadow primer. I don't really know if there's a huge difference, but some people definitely prefer a primer over concealer, but I just kind of like the fresh base it gives you. And I'll also be using this on my under eyes as well. But basically I just put that on there, and then I will take the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush. If you don't have this in your life, you need it. It's like $3, and it's like the most perfect brush for blending out, obviously, concealer or like anything else that you're doing. So do that really quick. And then for shadow today, I'm really excited because this is probably one of my favorite palettes of all time. It's the Colourpop Flutter palette. It's gorgeous. It's got a lot of mauve tones, some deep maroons in there, pressed glitters in there as well, which I really love. And I was going back and forth between doing a like more mauve, soft glam look or a kind of like bright and springy look. So that might be my next video, but I decided to go with this one today because it's definitely a universal look that anyone can pull off. I know bright colors can be intimidating to some people. So the first thing I'm going to do is, and like I said, I like to do eyes first, but you definitely don't have to. The reason I like to do that is because I can be a little heavy-handed sometimes and experience fallout. I know that's a big deal to some people. For me, it's really not. I don't really care about it that much because I do my eyeshadow first, so it's not a big deal. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take this Colourpop E7 brush. It's just like a little flat, thicker, dense packer brush. And I'm gonna go in with the shade Lush right here. And we're just gonna put that all over the lid to kind of create like a clean base and set that concealer that we used as a primer. Alrighty, next we are going to go in with the crease color. So we're gonna use this color Mariposa right here. It is a really gorgeous like mauve purple with some suspended glitter in there. So it is a matte, but it does have some flecks of suspended pink glitter in there, but it's really pretty. And we are going to use this Colourpop E2 brush. This is probably my favorite crease brush of all time. It's just like so fluffy, but like dense and really good at getting the color in there, but also blending it out. It's just like perfect. So if you don't have this, you need it as well. So I'm just going to dip my brush in there really quick, tap off the excess. And if you see me leaning in here, that's because my mirror is right here. So I'm sorry if the angles aren't the best, but I'll definitely come back out and show you what I've done. So we're just gonna start buffing this in the crease. And I kind of like to do the windshield wiper motion. You definitely want to not put a whole lot of pressure on there because then it concentrates the color more and it's harder to blend out. So it's easier to start with a smaller amount and then build it up. Obviously it's easier to add more than take away. So that is what we are going for today. Like I said, I'm just gonna build this up a little bit. I can see like the little glitter after I just tapped off the excess. I can see it like floating around. That's funny. I also like to make sure that I'm making like a nice corner out here. So now that we have like a nice transition color in there, it is a little dark, but I like it. I like the purple look. I feel like it complements green, brown, hazel eyes really well. So I like it. Next, we are gonna go in with the shade Made to Last. It's this kind of taupey tan color right here, and we're gonna put that in the crease as well, but a little bit below the crease. So it's gonna probably go like right here-ish, and then I'm gonna kind of buff it on the lid as well. And I'm gonna go in with that same Colourpop E2. And like I said, we're gonna put that in the crease, but I mean a little below the crease. Kind of like right, because you know the crease is like the socket kind of your eye. So it's gonna be like on the tippy top part of your lid, basically. I'm gonna just like drag it down so that we get some like color working up in here. I mean, this middle part's not really gonna matter because I'm gonna put a shimmer over top of it, but you still wanna create like a nice base and have some nice blend in there. You want the purple to be the star of the show, but you don't want it to like look like you didn't blend it at all because that would not be good. Anyways, I'm gonna stop talking. Next thing, what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of deepen this outer corner right here. For that, I want to use like a little more round, dense brush. This one's from e.l.f. It doesn't have a name on it, but it's just like a very, it's not domed, but it's kind of just like a flat, dense, like been liking that word lately, I guess, brush to kind of really pack in that outer corner. So I'm going to take the shade Changes, tap my brush in there, and tap off the excess as always, and then I'm just gonna kind of start packing that in the outer corner. And like I said, this like blend as far as like in the middle of your eye doesn't have to be perfect because shimmer is going over top of it, so just kind of do your best. It's not a big deal. I feel like putting shimmer over top like fixes everything. I feel like I always have to have a shimmer, like no matter what. Adding a little bit more. Alrighty, next we are going to kind of blend out this upper crease up here. So that's more going towards the brow bone, so right above the crease. I'm gonna go back with my Colourpop E2 brush, clean it off a little bit. I've got a napkin right here. I know that's not the greatest for spot cleaning, but it's what we got. I'm gonna go in with the shade Wild Wing. It's kind of like the Mariposa shade, but it's a little bit more gray, a little bit more undertoned. So I'm just gonna swirl my brush in there really quick, and we're gonna blend out this edge. Other than like applying shimmers, this is probably my favorite part of doing eyes. The difference that it makes is so huge as far as like getting that really nice blend and a nice like gradient effect. I mean, you can see like on this eye versus this eye, because I haven't done that eye yet, like it just makes such a big difference. I just like choked on my own spit. Sorry. I don't really know what my favorite part of my makeup routine is. I mean, I really like eyeshadow because it allows me to be like creative, but also there's something really satisfying about covering up, you know, all your imperfections with foundation as well. So what are your guys' like favorite step in your makeup routine? Let me know. It's looking pretty good. We're looking a little dark, but that's okay. Oh my gosh, I just realized I like took a giant chunk out of this Gotta Fly shade on accident. Oh well. Okay, I don't do this very often, but because we have like kind of, it's pretty dark going on in this like inner third of my eye, and I really want, this is like this a gorgeous like champagne-y pink, allow that shimmer to have a nice bright base. And I'm gonna use the e.l.f. It's called concealer brush. It has like the tiniest little like kind of like, I don't want to say spatula, but it's just like a very flat brush with like a rounded tip. And I'm gonna take just a little bit of the e.l.f. concealer, and you wanna start with a little bit, not a lot. I'm just gonna take that and start applying it where I'm gonna put that shimmer. And like I said, I don't want this video to be a fail, but I don't do, like, I guess this is a cut crease. I don't do that very often. And this is definitely like not 100% necessary. You can always, which I'm gonna do this anyway, but you can always spray your brush, put the shimmer on your brush and then spray your brush with setting spray. And that can help your shimmer stand out a lot. But for the sake of the video, like why not? If I fail, I mean, at least I can say I went down trying, right? And I mean, I just used like the tiniest amount, and you can see like it was plenty. This concealer is super, super pigmented, so I'm really excited to show you guys how it works on the under eye. But like I said, it's always easier to add when it comes to makeup than subtract. So don't start out with a lot, because it will be really sad when you can't fix it without having to basically redo everything you just did. I honestly can't even say for sure if these are gonna be exactly even, but we're just gonna try our best and we're gonna make it work. All you can ask of yourself is your best effort. And if you gave it your all, then that's all you can do. Sorry, I'm like getting motivational speaker in this video. I was not trying to do that. Okay. Next, we are gonna take a flat packer brush, and this is literally, I got this for free from Ulta. It's a lot like the Anastasia number 18 brush, except it's like a little mini, and it literally just says eyeshadow on it. But I mean, it's perfect for packing on shimmers. I use it every single time. But we're gonna go into the shade Sunflare, and it is literally so gorgeous. I love it. And I think I just stabbed my nail in there too. I put on these press-ons, and clearly I don't know how to control myself with them on, but it's okay. All right, so I'm just gonna start packing this shade onto my brush, and I'm gonna take some of my e.l.f. Mist and Set, and I'm just gonna spray her up really quick, and I just got setting spray all over my mirror. That's good. Got off really quick. I know you guys really came here for the comedy. Okay. So I'm just gonna start packing that on the lid. I mean, come on. That is like the most gorgeous pink like ever. It's so pretty. I know this looks kind of crazy right now, but we will blend out that edge, this edge right here. Just don't worry. We will fix her. It'll be great. I mean, and you can do this, like I said, without using concealer, but I mean, it just really takes it to the next level. Like I did this look last week, a few days ago, and I didn't do concealer and it still looked pretty. It was much softer, but I mean, this is just like out of this world. And it also keeps you from having to use more product. Like last week when I did this, I had to pile on so much more of the shimmer and I just sprayed my brush again. Obviously, when you have those dark colors under there, you have to really pile it on more. But when you put concealer down, you don't really have to worry about that as much. Okay, this outer edge is not... There we go. It wasn't as straight as this edge, but I fixed it. And it's just like so gorgeous. It's beautiful. And if you don't, I know I've said this about 2 other brushes by now, but if you love shimmer or really packing any color on the inner third of your eye, you have to get a flat brush like this. I mean, I don't know how you would even do it without this because it's just great. I guess you could use your finger, but we are loving the brush. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take, this is the e.l.f., it's just called the blending brush. And that's all I use it for. You could use it in the crease. It's would be pretty good for that, except it's not as rounded as this one. It's more flat, if you can see that. So it's good for blending. So we're just gonna take this and we're gonna kind of blend out that edge a little bit to kind of make it a little bit more cohesive. So yeah, I mean, that definitely helped. You want to blend the line right there without like taking away from the shimmer. So just make sure you really just stay on that line where your concealer, where your shimmer ends. And just kind of blend it together. Okay, and the next thing we're gonna do, this palette is looking rough now because I've just like stabbed my fingernails in like 3 different shades. Next, we're gonna take this shade Getaway and we're gonna put that right like on the overlap of the matte dark outer corner and the bright inner third. I'm gonna use my finger and I'm just gonna rub her on there. I mean, and this is just like a really gorgeous like gold, shimmery, I don't even know how to describe it. I need to get better at describing shadows, but it's like the perfect color to blend. I mean, and I just like barely tap it on there because I don't really want to like take away from the light shimmer, and this is like so pigmented, like I just like barely tapped, and that's what it did. And I'm gonna take this brush again. I mean, and then that just made that so much more of like a gradient, like cohesiveness instead of the sharpness, which this still looks good, but I like adding like just a little bit more dimension. So I took my finger in that shade again, and we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. I mean, just like the most like gentle pressing motions, and it is just like perfect. Okay, and we are almost done, but there's one more thing on the eyes I wanna do. I forgot my e.l.f. eye tapes upstairs, so I'm gonna go run and grab them really quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, next, and well, not last for the eyes, but last for the main eyeshadow, we're gonna go in with e.l.f. eye tapes. These are so good. If you're using regular tape right now to get a sharp wing, you need these in your life, because I was using regular tape and it like hurts to take it off. But these are so gentle, and also they come in 40 strips, but basically, and this was another recommendation from Juicy Jazz, Jasmine, I just took the whole pack down the middle and cut it in half, because, so this is how big they are cut in half. Like, there's no reason you would need that long of an eye tape, in my opinion, unless you're doing a wing like out to your hairline. But I mean, and if you want to do that, then more power to you, but not for me. So I'm gonna take the eye tape and I'm gonna try to follow like my lower, I guess, waterline, or my lower lid, you could say, to get that wing shape that I want. You don't wanna like try and exaggerate like an angle or a shape that's not there, I feel like, because then it's not gonna look as natural. I mean, obviously there's nothing natural about a wing, but you want it to match your, like the symmetry of your face and things like that. And I'm trying to, I actually didn't like that very much, so let's bring it up a little bit more. All right, one down. And I mean, obviously there's not a whole lot that's comfortable about putting tape on your eye, but these are definitely more comfortable than putting like Scotch tape on your eye, which is what I used to do. So those are pretty even. This one might need to come up a little bit more. Getting these even is like the hardest part. And you know what? They're probably never gonna be even. That's okay. We're just gonna do our best, like I said. Okay, next I'm going to take this e.l.f. small angled brush. Obviously just a small flat brush with an angle. That's what it's called on there. Got it from Target for like $3. And we're gonna go in with this shade, the Angel BB. It's like a dark, I mean, it's brown, but it's also like very much got a red undertone. And I'm just gonna like start like tapping my brush in there. And this is how we're gonna get the winged liner effect. Just start tapping my brush in there like that. And I'm gonna start, I mean, I'm gonna try to make it just go to like the outer crease color. And I'm still like learning how to do this. I'm definitely no expert. So if this comes out looking bad, I apologize. But that's what the tape is for, because I literally have no, like not even a sliver of a clue how I would do a wing freehanded, like, to be honest. Then I'm gonna take that color, just kind of drag it out towards the inner part of my eye. And when you take the tape off, you can kind of see a little bit better like what you've got going on, so we can do some touch-ups at that point as well. I'm sorry, I feel like this video is gonna be so long, but like I said, I've never done this before, so I don't really know what I'm doing. So it looks a little crazy right now, but we're gonna take off the tapes. Let's see how we did. Okay, so that's not great. I accidentally smudged it up there a little bit. Let's see how this one looks. Let's do it from the top. Okay, that side was much better. I'm gonna try to fix this. I'll be right back. Okay, so it's definitely not perfect, but I have a feeling this is as good as we're gonna get here. I'm a human being. That's all I can say. I'm not a makeup artist, and things aren't always gonna come out the way that you want them to. That's okay. We're gonna move on. I'm sorry if it's distracting that they're not perfect, but nonetheless, we will keep going. Next, I'm gonna prep the face. I've already sprayed that primer spray, but we're gonna go in with the e.l.f. Matte Putty Primer. This is actually the first variation of the Putty Primer that I've tried. I really wanna try the poreless, like the original poreless one, but I really like this. So basically you can see it's just like in a putty, like thick cream consistency, and I go pretty heavy with it because I'm gonna put it all over my face. So now that we're getting into the face, it should go a little bit faster. So again, my apologies for keeping you here for 8 million years. I love this primer. It's actually a dupe for the $52 Tatcha primer, which I've never used, but who needs to do that when you have e.l.f., you know? I couldn't see myself spending $52 on a primer, like, ever. I mean, I might, like a high-end primer, like the Fenty. I know the Fenty, what is it called? Like a matte blur or something. I know that, I've heard that one's really good, but that's still not $52, you know? I feel like some high-end luxury brands just trying to take money from you. And I would love to do some high-end tutorials, but like, obviously, whatever my audience wants to see is what I'm gonna show. And everything here today with, well, that's not completely true. My mascara is not drugstore or drugstore priced. I mean, Colourpop's not drugstore either, but it has drugstore prices. Okay, next we are going to spot conceal. I'm gonna go back in with the e.l.f. Hydrating 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And I am going to just dot this on my little problem areas. And I will say, I have not broken out like this in like a long time. Like, I have no idea what's happening. I went to take my makeup off last night and I was like it all came up at once. It was so weird. Anywho, we're gonna go back in with the e.l.f. Flawless Concealer Brush and we're just gonna blend those out. And the reason I do this before foundation is because obviously this concealer color is like way too like light. It's not my foundation color, so you don't want that to like stick out on top of your foundation. I mean, oh my gosh, the coverage on this is insane. Another concealer I really love to spot conceal with is the Colourpop Pretty Fresh concealer. It's got a lot of great coverage too. It's not my favorite for the under eyes. I have a lot of fine lines under my eyes, as you can see, and it separates really bad. It cracks on me, so I do not like it for that. Okay, next for foundation, we're gonna go in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation, another Juicy Jazz recommendation. I really like it. This is in the shade Shell Ivory, and I like this little spatula it has on here. We're going to just take it and kind of start drawing on our face. I mean, I like spatula because I feel like it's just more fun. I mean, who doesn't like a little novelty in their makeup, you know? And we can add more as we go if we need to, but this foundation has really great coverage as well. It's definitely not, I mean, it's not like super full color coverage. It's not like a Juvia's Place Eye Magic foundation, but it does have a lot of great coverage and it is very buildable, so that's great. And I'm just gonna take my Real Techniques sponge and I'm gonna start blending this out. A sponge is definitely my favorite way to put on foundation. I just feel like it gives you the most like airbrushed look. I definitely just got foundation in my hair, oh well. For me, I feel like a stippling brush or like a flat kabuki brush is just like, I don't know, it makes me look streaky. Either that, I just don't know how to use it. It's probably the latter, but I also have to try to like get in my nose creases really well. Drag that down the neck. I mean, yeah, you can see clearly this has like a lot of good coverage. And it's just a really nice, I don't know, like dewy is a strong word, I feel like, and I feel like that word scares people. People are like, I don't want to walk around like shiny all day. And I have combo skin, so this is really great for me. I do get oily in the T-zone after a while. I get dry patches on my chin and my nose. So I really like this foundation, but I would definitely say dewy is a strong word. And this is definitely more like a natural luminous finish. It's not like a natural satin finish by any means. It does have that luminosity, but you're not like walking around looking like you have a wet face all day, which I really like. Another foundation I really love that I honestly feel like this is a dupe for is the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I wanted to try a high-end foundation for the first time since, you know, I'm an adult, and I was like, you know, I can treat myself to a high-end foundation. But then after I used it, I mean, I really liked it, but I was like, you know, there is something else out there that can give me the same effect. That Wet n Wild one is it. It's like pretty much the same thing. The Wet n Wild one does have a teeny bit of a fragrance, but I think it smells good. It's a little bit floral. I like it. Okay. Next for concealer, I've used this like 87 times already. It's the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and we're gonna use the shade Fair Rose. This is like the lightest shade they have. I kind of have been liking a highlighted under eye look lately. You're supposed to go like 2 to 3 shades lighter than your skin tone, I think, for concealer. And I mean, I wouldn't say this is too light for me, but it's pretty light. Once I start getting a tan in the summer, I'll have to probably start mixing it with something else. That's okay. All right, I'm just gonna take my sponge and start blending this out. This blends out like so well. The coverage is amazing. You can definitely build it up if you want to, but I hesitate building stuff up because I feel like the more product I have on my under eye, the more it settles into my fine lines and creases, so I kind of try to avoid that. And I'm not really, I mean, I have dark circles, but that's not really my concern. It's more of I feel like my dark circles aren't as bad as what my fine lines are, if that makes sense. My fine lines are definitely like more of a concern to me. Okay, next I'm gonna go back with a little bit of the concealer and highlight the high points of my face. So I'm not gonna take the full like spatula end. I'm gonna take like the back side and just kind of go down my nose, go a little tiny bit on my chin, and a little tiny bit on my forehead. I mean, you guys saw this is like so pigmented, such high coverage. You don't need a lot, especially if you're just highlighting the high points of your face. I mean, a little bit goes a long way. And I definitely used a lot of concealer on my under eyes, but I just really like trying to have as flawless of an under eye as possible. Next, I'm going to set the under eyes, and I've been loving this e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder. It has just like a really nice blurring effect. It's not too matte. It really leaves you like, I don't know, I don't want to say like luminous because it does set your face and it does give you like, maybe it's more like a satin finish. It's not matte, that's for sure. But it is really pretty for the under eyes and for, you know, the forehead and all those other great things. But before I set my under eyes, I actually will go back with this e.l.f. Flawless Concealer brush and make sure I brush out under my eyes so that I'm not setting a crease. And I almost did an under eye concealer tutorial instead of this video, but I can definitely do a more in-depth concealer video next if anybody would be interested in that. Take my powder on my sponge and just start setting the under eyes. Sometimes I will go back and kind of like, I don't want to say double set, but like add a little bit more powder to make sure that I'm really locking it in. Okay, I only have a little bit left, but you don't need a whole lot for these areas. I'm just gonna set my T-zone where I do get a little bit more oily. My skin is so weird. Like, I know I said I peel my chin, but it also gets oily at the same time. Makes no sense. Can't begin to describe it, but it is my life, so this is what it is. Set that forehead as well. It's so pretty. The finish is just everything. I love it. And next we are gonna go in with bronzer, and so this is a Colourpop pressed powder bronzer. I have no idea what the shade name is because it basically comes in a single and you have to put it in the compact yourself. It's like, it's, you know, it's brown. It's a bronzer. They have tons of single bronzers on their website. I would have to like dig it out of the pan and read the back of the actual color to figure out what the shade name is, which I don't want to do because I don't want to break it. But it's just a really nice, like soft, it definitely is like more of a tan tone. It's not really like a contour color. It's definitely just for bronzing. And I'm gonna put that on my e.l.f. pointed powder brush. And I feel like this is really good for getting in like that chiseled cheek moment. So we're gonna do that. Just kind of blot this all over, tap off the excess, and then just start blending her out. Bring it down the neck because you don't wanna look like you have like 4 different skin tones going on. Take more on the other side. I would love though to try the Colourpop Going Coconuts. It was from the Going Coconuts collection. The bronzer from that, I don't know what it's called, but it's like the most gorgeous, like toasted, like more cool toned brown, which I feel like cool tones go a little bit better with my skin. But you know, this is the only bronzer I have. I definitely do not have a makeup collection by any means. The only like really collection I have is my eyeshadow palettes. But hey, if my videos get more popular, we can maybe start working on a collection. But for right now, I only have one bronzer. That's okay. I know a lot of YouTubers obviously have collections because they get sent stuff and all of that, but like, as far as like right now, this is not my career, so I do not have a collection. Would I love to have a collection? Of course, who wouldn't? But that is not my life right now. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna take my Coty Airspun Loose Setting Powder. This is really good for the under eyes and forehead and stuff as well if you like to be super matte. I really like this for chiseling out this like lower cheekbone area. It's really good. It does have a very, and when I say very, I mean very strong grandma's perfume scent. If you can get past that, then, and you like to be super matte, then this powder would definitely be for you. It's really good. It's like $6 at Target, so I mean, it's a steal. But I just take that on the flat side, and I'm gonna start from like the center of my ear and work my way over to like the corner of my lip, kind of clean up that bronzer and give us some definition and cheekbones back, because I have a very round face, so I don't really have cheekbones, to be honest. Nothing wrong with it. It's the way God made me, but we can go for that effect, right? And I just kind of layer that on and kind of just let it bake there for a second. And now I'm gonna go in with my blush. This is the Colourpop, and you can see it's well loved, but it's a Colourpop blush sticks. This is in the shade Hooked. This is more of a soft, it's got a little bit of a brown undertone, and you can certainly draw on your face. I mean, but look how much product I have. And I got this in like June of 2019. So it hasn't been a full year, but it's almost been a year of having this blush. It's more of a brown tone. I feel like it would be good for this look. And I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. angled blush brush. And I like to just get the product on the brush like this. You can draw it on your face, but I find that that kind of takes foundation and other product you put on before. I find that that kind of takes it off your face when you do it like that. So I don't really do that anymore. That's how I used to do it. And then I found out the hard way. I was like, oh, this is taking off everything I just did. So this is the much safer way to do that. I love these blush sticks. They're so pigmented. They're gorgeous. Another thing you need in your life if you don't have it. Next, I'm gonna do highlight. And I will say that this highlight brush is nice, but if you really like your face as a disco ball, like super wet highlight, this brush is not gonna be for you because this distributes the highlight in more of like a natural inner glow type of way, which is the kind of highlight that I like. So I like this brush, but if you like a super wet, blinding highlight, then this brush is probably not gonna be your favorite, but it is the e.l.f. Featherlight highlighting brush. And it's like just very soft and feathery. Yeah, so we're gonna go in with the Colourpop Super Shock highlighter in the shade Flexitarian. This is like the most perfect, super light gold champagne color for highlighting. And I just kind of like swirl my brush around in that. And I'm gonna start highlighting cheekbones, take it up on above my eyebrow a little bit. And then I'm gonna take it down the bridge of my nose. I know some people like to like highlight their chin and their forehead and stuff like that, but I don't really like to emphasize like the oil spots of my face. So I just usually do the cheekbones and the nose and then above my eyebrow a little bit. But that is as far as I go with highlight because I don't want to overdo it for me personally. Okay, next I'm going to take my Colourpop F1 brush. This is just like a big, nice, fluffy powder brush. And I'm gonna dust off that excess powder right below the cheekbones. And we're gonna finish up these eyes. So let's go back into the Flutter by palette. And basically what I'm gonna do is I am just going to mix the Wild Wing and Made to Last. If you want a bit of like a darker color, darker like smoky eye there, you can mix the Cha-Cha Changes or like really any of the shades that we used before you can use on the lower lash. But I am just gonna try to make it a little bit lighter. I'm gonna go back with this e.l.f. brush that is not named. And I'm gonna kind of wipe it off a little bit. And I'm gonna mix Wild Wing, can't see what I'm doing, and then Made to Last. And I'm gonna smudge it on the lower lash line. Actually, I'm gonna take a little bit of the Mariposa as well. So I feel like I'm kind of losing that purple. Okay, I'm gonna mix all three of those, I guess. We're just gonna have a mixing party. Okay, and see, this is the problem when you have super fine lines on your under eyes, is like no matter what you do, your concealer is always gonna crease. I mean, it's just a fact of life. If you have lines under your eyes, like it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna take a teeny bit more of this e.l.f. powder to try to like fix that. But you know, it is what it is. No matter what I do, it's unavoidable. But I will say still, some concealers perform better on me than others. Like this e.l.f. one still does better than the Pretty Fresh one that I mentioned earlier that is just like cracks horribly. I mean, any concealer on me is going to settle into my fine lines, but it's just a matter of how bad, if that makes sense. Okay, next we are going to do the inner corner and brow bone. This is the Colourpop E10 brush. It's just like a super, I mean, it's still round, but it's like a little pencil brush. And we're going to take the shade Just Imagine right here. It's like a really pretty soft, like light gold color. And I'm gonna just like take that on my brush. I'm going to highlight that inner corner. Highlighting the inner corner is just like the cherry on top, to be honest. Like you can't have an ice cream sundae without the cherry on top. And then we're gonna hit the brow bone with it as well. I love it. I kind of fudged up my eyebrow a little bit, so I'm just gonna brush that out really quick. Okay, so that is pretty much it for the face. I know my lips are looking horrendous. I'm really sorry. We're about to fix them. I like to set my face before I do mascara. I have pretty long eyelashes, so if I do mascara and then set my face, I get mascara like everywhere. So we're gonna set our face first. This is the e.l.f. Makeup Mist and Set. I like it. I mean, it's pretty good, but I would probably say that The Milani Make It Last is my favorite drugstore setting spray. I mean, because it just like really does make it last. I will say though, like I cried yesterday because I'm stressed about Miss Rona, and like you could not see any tear streaks on my face with using that e.l.f. setting spray, so that's really good. All right, next we're gonna go in with mascara, and this is the only high-end product that I'm using because my dear mother got me this for Christmas. So what I probably wouldn't repurchase this either. It has a very wet formula. It's not my favorite. It's a very bristly brush and not like, I don't want to say plastic, but it's not like a CoverGirl Lash Blast applicator, which is like my favorite type of applicator. It does work pretty well though. So this is the BareMinerals Lashtopia. It's very black, which I like, but it can be kind of hard to control. I have a huge problem with getting mascara on my eyelid, so I'm gonna try really hard not to do that. But we're gonna go in with some mascara here really quick. And I always do 2 coats of mascara. I will say a good tip for you if you are like me and get mascara on your eyelids, if you wait for it to dry for a second and take a spoolie, you can usually get it off without like completely ruining your eyeshadow. So that's good. But it's still annoying. Like it would be nice to just not have to worry about it in general. But you know, that's life, it's okay. Okay, finally, we are on the last step. If you made it this far, I'm giving you a round of applause right now. Give yourself a pat on the back because this has been a long one. We are gonna do the lips. So first I'm gonna go in with my Colourpop Lippy Pencil. This is in the shade BFF. I really am enjoying this lip liner. I'm gonna be honest, this is the only lip liner I have. I never used to wear lip liner, but again, Juicy Jazz plug, she got me on wearing lip liner. I never used to wear it before, and now I don't see how I would ever go back. So I'm gonna wipe off my lips really quick. Okay, and I'm gonna start out here, and I am gonna slightly overline on just the bottom. Next for lips, we are going to take the NYX Lingerie Gloss. And this is in the shade Bear With Me. This is like the perfect spot on nude, like no, I mean, it does have a teeny bit of peachy undertone, but like very minimal undertones, like straight up nude that I just love. And we're just gonna take that all over the lips. And I have just really been loving just lip liner and gloss lately. Obviously you can put on a matte lipstick, what have you. I've really been liking just gloss and lip liner lately. Okay guys, so that is it. This is the completed spring soft glam makeup look. If you stuck around the whole time for that video, let me just say thank you so much. It means so much to me to have you watching my videos. I really love doing makeup, and I hope that that is a shared passion that we have. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what other types of makeup videos you would like to see in the future. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends. I love doing makeup and sharing that with others. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye.